Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Pretty Lies and Alibis, our second episode of the day. I'm Gigi Fruit Loop. What's good?
It's like dark outside. I hate daylight savings time.
It's terrible. I feel like it's midnight.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm all
I hate
screwed
it.
up.
Hate it, hate it. It's like five
Yeah,
o'clock and it's like dark as ever.
I know. It drives me bonkers. My kids stayed after school today to get a little help with math, and I literally picked them up when it was dark. It was so weird.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They got my math skills. Let me just say, not the best thing I could have passed down to those two, but
Exactly. I
youngest
think it's
is
funny. They'll come over to me like, "Can you help with this?" And I'm like, "I was in the same class your mama was. I had
yeah.
somebody else."
Yeah, we were not the brightest in math.
No.
So, before we get started, as usual, we want to give a big shout out to our sponsor, Two Cool T-shirt Quilts. If you look behind me, you can see just a few samples of what Miss Andrea at Two Cool T-shirt Quilts can do for you and yours. So go to twocooltshirtquilts.com/pretty lies and alibis. Check them out. And we have a very happy update.
Yes. So Noah and Amber Claire were found in San Clemente, California.
Awesome news. It's not often that we get to do this and say they were found and they're safe.
Yes, yes. So who was the lady who you got that story, right?
I do. So, a woman named Julia Bonin, I'm not sure how to say that name. We butcher names. Y'all know that. Sorry, Julia. She saw the three of them walking near Doheny State Park in Dana Point, California. And she was on her way to take her son to school and she was going to stay and do some volunteer work. And she actually had been following the case on social media and she thought they looked familiar. So when she pulled into the school, she told her son she needed to go back and be sure it was them.
So then she left her son at school, went back and took a photo and called dispatch. She learned within minutes that Jacob Clare was taken into custody in Orange County and awaiting extradition to Tennessee. So
Yeah, and
that's awesome.
I think what's cool about this is, I mean, aside from the awesome fact the kids are fine, is that again, you see how social media can solve these missing person cases. That's why we're doing this every Saturday.
Yeah.
It takes one person. You can get 1,000 tips about a missing person. The one that matters could be somebody that sees it on a news article, hears about it on a podcast. So it's just such an encouraging thing.
Yep.
So we're going to finish up this thing with Zulema. It's not very long. This is going to be a pretty short episode. We're going to drop the first episode of this new document dump from Gilbert, Arizona tomorrow. Instead of 3 in one day and just all that stuff, we're going to take a rest. And I've been going through these documents all day long, and there's so many nuggets in there, guys. So
Yep.
many nuggets.
Yep.
Several things. So let's just go ahead, Fruit Loop, and let you take over where if you guys remember, we were talking about, was Alex and Lori pressuring Zulema and Alex to get married? And then they asked if he really loved her and that kind of thing. So let's take it from there, Fruity Loopy.
So he doted over her, and she said maybe they told him to fake it, but from the minute he woke up until he went to bed, he made sure she was happy and made sure she was taken care of. She says one time she told him salsa and chips would be good, and he got up and grabbed his keys and said he would be back, and he went to get her some. He would say, "As you wish," all the time. Okay, that's just weird.
That is weird. He's not like the genie from Aladdin.
Yeah, like that's really weird.
Look, I'm
I
just
mean,
gonna say, if that's the best example you can give of even your brief husband pampering you is grabbing you some chips and salsa, you are missing out, girl.
genie in a bottle. Uh, so
Don't
the
let me go
Fremont,
with the jokes. Oh
I
Lord,
know,
let's move
right?
past. Move past.
Here we go. The Fremont investigator asked if she really loved him when they got married, and she said yes, she loved him very much. He says when Alex was at the hospital and her son-in-law said while they were there, if Chandler or Gilbert PD wanted to talk, they would have to talk to her attorney. The investigator asked why she needed an attorney at the time. Then he asked if their attorney was for her or for Alex. That's a good question.
Yeah. I'm kind of, I don't know. I mean, I think once you start getting into some of the new stuff that's come out, you do see maybe why Zulema lawyered up really quickly. It's a little more clear to me now. Before, it didn't
Yeah,
make a ton of sense, but now I think it does.
yeah, yeah. She said she didn't feel she needed an attorney. Her son-in-law felt she did. When she got home, the police tried to interrogate her again and said it would separate her and her kids. And her son-in-law called and said, "Your attorney will call the police officer who took her to his car." He told Zulema to get out of the car and tell her kids not to answer any more questions, and they need to talk to her attorney from now on. And we remember this.
Yep, it was on the body cam footage. Remember that?
Yep. Yeah.
Oh,
He still got a little
I got
trauma from that.
little
Yeah.
PTSD from those
Yeah.
body cams.
Fremont investigator asked why he thought she needed an attorney. She said she had a really bad experience with the police just prior to that and just didn't trust the police. He asked if she had any other phones when she would talk to Lori, Chad, and Melanie P. And says the reason he's asking is because there are burner phones everywhere. She said no. Then she says, "Wait, I did get a phone the day Alex died because police took hers and she needed one." When then they asked, "When would you need code words and why did Chad and Lori think they were necessary?" She said, "You're working with Kay seeking their destruction," and says they, meaning the police, were a high level 6 dark person and they needed to have protection because they were saying the kids were safe in a safe place. And in order for the kids to stay safe, since investigators were at a high level dark person.
Of
That's
course, the
crazy.
police were a 6.
Yeah. Okay, that whole deal, the whole relationship with Alex, from what she's saying he said, that sounds like he was just a cabana boy.
Uh,
Fanning her with banana leaves and giving her grapes.
fan her with grapes. Fan her with, oh, yeah, like up on the
Yeah,
thing where they carry them and
yeah,
stuff. But,
yeah.
you think about it, I mean, he would travel out of the country to meet women, and if you remember, right after Charles was murdered, he went out of the country
Mhm.
for what, a week? I don't know, maybe he was just happy to have a wife. Well, we know he had one before her. The lady thought everything was super weird. We find out
Yeah.
Alex apparently had sexual contact with a 15-year-old and had to move because the girl's dad was gonna kill him. Sleazy, ugh, sleazy. So the Fremont investigator asks Zulema to look at her phone and see if she can find a phone number. He says he may know who this belongs to, and she says nothing comes up, but she thinks it's part of Alex's phone number. It was beeped out, so you couldn't tell. And she says this is what was weird to me. She says her granddaughter got the phone she had during all of this, and she didn't know that your old phone was connected to the Wi-Fi. It would show up on your new phone. So she said her granddaughter deleted hundreds and hundreds of phone numbers. That's suspicious.
That's weird.
He asks if she has Chad in her phone, and she said she had one phone he kept all the time, and she looks in her text, and then she calls out a number. So in the previous document dump, or one of the previous episodes, we heard this is when they are doing the shooting fire and lasers and light beams at Charles. They mention Raphael. Well, we find out now that Chad goes by the name Raphael.
Yep.
He asks if that rings a bell, and she says it does. She said he changed one of his numbers, and Alex had asked her for it. So she gives the number that he had, that was the number they had just asked for. And he got this new number the first week of December in 2019. When we start this new document series, you'll kind of see the communication after he got this new
Mhm.
phone.
Yep.
Chad told her about it on December 4th, and Alex asked for it on the 5th. So the investigators said Chad went by Raphael and asked if she called him Chad or Raphael, and she said Chad. He says in one text, she says Raphael is calling through and she needed to go. He asks if it was sometimes she called him that, and she said yes. But Alex used to call him that a lot. So if she used it, it would have been when Alex was with her. She said on December 6th, Alex went and got pizza for everybody. And on December 7th, that's when he went to Mexico. Tammy Daybell was exhumed. As we know, December 11th, he died on the 12th. So this is 5 days before he drops over. The investigator said he appreciates her talking because he knows she hates it. And she says she wants to help. He says he doesn't know what the defense will do at trial and says they may throw everyone under the bus. And he said that's why it's so important if she remembers anything they can get out in front of to let them know. This was kind of weird. So Zulema said she still has a pair of Lori's scissors at her house. And the investigator says the one that cost over $100. And Zulema says they were worth over 1,000. So I'm guessing maybe these are those really fancy hair cutting scissors because that's what she used to do, before when she met Charles. That's how she met Charles, was cutting his hair. That's all I could figure.
I ain't paying no $1,000 for no scissors.
Heck no, I go buy me a $5 pair of Fisker scissors and you getting your hair cut.
Hey, I'm about to ask the lady that cuts my hair if she pay $1,000 for some scissors.
No. Charles
You better go to
paid
Boom Boom
$1,000.
Beauty Supply. Go to Boom Boom Beauty Supply. Get you some $10 scissors.
Your hair be all gapped up, girl. Okay. I lost my train of thought. So he said there was something nefarious, which means wicked, about Lori giving her the scissors, and Lori gave them to her when they got back from getting married in Hawaii. She said when they were in Vegas, this is the time with the massage. She said, Alex was a massage therapist, and he said, I'll give you a massage to fix your back. And she said for some strange reason, he wanted to go to Walmart and get the tarp that you lay on the floor that's plastic when you're painting to put on the bed so oil didn't get on the bed. And she said, what?
He gonna kill her.
Dude, I would have slid right off that thing. I'd have been like,
Savannah Boy couldn't do it.
that's my absolutely. I totally think with her well, anyways, we get to that. She said the weirdest thing is that she fell asleep because she was so relaxed, and she remembers him being in and out of the room and he was on the phone with somebody. She said, Alex, who are you talking to? And he said, nobody, I'm just talking to myself. But she said it was a whole conversation. Then she said, let's watch a movie. And he was on the phone and he was playing a game of his very quietly. And she said it was eerie because normally Alex is joking all the time. And he said nothing the rest of the evening. So she said, maybe I'm crazy with all this stuff that happened. But she said in the back of her mind, she keeps thinking, what if she was next? And the investigator said, could have been. He asks how she felt when she woke up. And she said she felt really drowsy. And this was in the middle of the afternoon.
Yeah, he was going to kill her. He couldn't do it.
Oh, yeah. It's odd, though, if that really is the case, that he would have second thoughts about killing Zulema, but not his niece and nephew.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's where you would have the big second thoughts.
Yeah, you would think so. But maybe by that time he was because, he made those comments.
That's a really good point.
That I'm going to be their fall guy or whatever.
Yeah,
so,
either I'm a man of God or I'm not.
Yep. He asked if he made her a drink or anything to eat before that, and she doesn't remember. She said maybe a water or something. She said the amount of oil he used didn't justify using the plastic, a whole drop cloth over the bed. She said the fact he said nothing, it was so quiet after that. It's not him. He's not a quiet person. He told her he was just tired. She never asked him about it. At the time, she didn't think anything of it because she trusted him. This was the day after they were married. That's the only time that happened, and he hadn't massaged her before or after that. He would massage her shoulders, but not like this. He would massage other people's shoulders too. He's just a touchy guy.
I know. I mean, it would be a little weird just to have some random person come massage my shoulders. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll
I
be
wouldn't
like,
even
"Get
do
them
it in the
feet.
mall.
Let's see how nice you are. Hit them feet."
Yeah, in the mall, you see them people, them chairs out there, I'm like, "Nope, no
I'm
thank you."
too tender. I
But a
don't
lot of
enjoy it.
people
I went for a prenatal massage when I was big and huge with Sarah Rose, and I mean, they had my belly in this big hole. Like, I was like, "The kid's just gonna
no,
break through the skin." It
no.
was so awkward.
In the mall, they have it you in front of everybody.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
like, "No,
like
I'm
20
good."
bucks and it's all dark in there and they're all on
Yeah,
top of you. No, thank
yeah,
you.
I'm good. So the investigator said it's little things like that that are interesting that they're interested in. He said even things that seem small to her, to let her lawyer know. He asked when she woke up that day how she felt, and again, we talked about she was just so relaxed. She didn't feel out of it, just super relaxed, but it was like she was in and out of sleep. And again, she could hear him talking. So she said he didn't talk to himself, but in this case, he was having a conversation. I think he was on the phone saying, "I can't do it."
I think so too. Or it didn't work. She has some superpowers and she didn't die.
Yeah, she threw a tornado at me.
She
Let me
made the bed
portal out of
rattle.
here. Let me portal out of here. Uh,
Portal's broken.
yeah, it's closed right
Your
now.
vibrations are not high enough to portal, Alex. Sorry,
The
bud.
portal is shut down for now. It's like at Walmart when they're always cleaning the women's bathroom. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah. So she said after a year processing this, there was no way to put the drop cloth on the bed for the massage. They asked if they talked about life insurance and if they added each other. She said no. He said they're in town until Saturday and she can give them scissors for evidence if she wants to. She agrees to. They ask if she has any questions for them, and she says she has a lot of questions. Sorry, about their sanity. She said they're led by evil. She had a feeling they had evil plans to do something to her and Alex. She thought she was the final key to Rexburg, and she feels by the grace of God she didn't move there. She wonders if Alex had a relationship with her because Chad and Lori told him to, and also if maybe they told him to kill her that day, but he couldn't go through with it. And then she said it's hard to believe he would kill himself.
Now, this was hard to hear. I'm going to tell you. I pushed in my AirPods. I think that's what she said. I totally believe that on the 11th, when Tammy was exhumed, I don't know. I think Alex took something maybe because I have to go back and see when it was that he told Chad that he was having a hard time breathing. Maybe that's in this new dump. I don't know. Everything's running together, but I'm 100% convinced he did something to himself. He took something that caused him to die. Whether
Yeah.
we are
Yep.
anyway,
Yep. I agree.
I pulled this from the new stuff just because it was kind of relevant to end this. Zulema believes she was under the protection of an angel called okay, Fruit Loop. Do you want to have a stab at this? Because
Porcius,
Porcius,
Porcius, or Porcius, or I'm always wrong. You're always right. So Porcius, Porcius. I don't.
Porcius, we're
It's
just
P
gonna throw
O
like four out
R
there
S I U S.
and see if we throw a bunch of stuff to the wall, see if one of those names sticks. But what it is, this is the angel who was the deceased president of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. His name was David McKay. So Zulema would go to temple daily to do work and prepare the earth, I guess, for the second coming. Afterwards, Zulema would text Chad and Lori about the visions she would have and ask Chad what they meant. She would also ask Chad to check on her family members or people that were close to her. One thing they noticed is that Chad would oftentimes label men as dark. And he once told Zulema a man she was dating was dark and he was placing cages around her. So Zulema broke up with the guy. And later, Chad said he was told by God she was going to marry Alex and move to Rexburg. And so when they stayed in Arizona after their marriage, Alex said he was letting all of his stuff in Arizona go. He wasn't going to go get it, nothing.
Wow.
So that's the end of her police interview. So just a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah. Yep.
Um,
Connecting some of the pieces.
a lot of the pieces are starting to get connected. And as usual, we say this isn't even what they have in Idaho.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, there were some things in this that are redacted, but it's not heavily redacted. So, that's all we have for you. I'm gonna hop in my portal and go somewhere. Where should I go for a loop? I'm gonna go to bed's where I'm gonna go.
That's right. I'm going to bed too.
I know. I just hope I can sleep because, like last night, laying on my back wasn't comfortable. Laying on my side wasn't. I'm gonna hang myself by my ankles tonight like a bat.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see if that
Yeah,
works
don't
because
be like
I'm
no
getting
bat. Them
desperate.
things are- oh,
Got enough baggage to go to Europe under these eyes.
don't be a bat.
No. So, anyways, all right, we will see you guys tomorrow. We're going to start on these new Gilbert documents, and Saturday we will have another missing person episode for you. And we appreciate you guys hanging out with us, and see you tomorrow.